This is John Hansen with That Video Game Blog. Thanks for checking out my video review for Sonic Mania. If you'd rather see the written version of the review, the link will be in the description, or you can click here. Be sure to let us know your thoughts on the game, and like and subscribe as well. The following video will have spoilers for a couple bosses, but no story spoilers. As if you really cared for Sonic spoilers anyway. Sonic Mania released this week, being a true love project made by fans of the popular Blue Hedgehog. Throughout my entire time playing, I could feel that love poured out into the game. All of the hard work and determination the developers put into the game has made Sonic Mania, in my opinion, the best Sonic the Hedgehog game ever, either in 2D or 3D. The game starts with Dr. Eggman, or Robotnik like he used to be called, and his hard-boiled heavies having found a pink gem on Angel Island that lets them teleport through time, so it's up to Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles to stop them. The game opens with an almost identical beginning sequence of Sonic 3, with Sonic and Tails flying in and stopping in the same exact spot where Knuckles crashes into them from Sonic 3. They get sent back in time and start their journey from Green Hill Zone Act 1. The plot of the game really is not anything amazing, but let's be honest here, Sonic the Hedgehog has never had a good plot. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are the three playable characters in the game. Sonic, of course, is fast and can take advantage of the lightning, fire, and bubble power-ups found throughout the game. He also has a new drop dash move brought into the game, but it's never shown how to do it, so I have no idea how to execute it, and I got through the entire game just fine using the old spin dash. Tails can fly throughout levels, up until a point where he gets tired and falls to the ground. This can be dangerous because any enemies you land on will harm you, so it's best to be conservative with his flying. Knuckles can glide and climb walls. His glide does destroy badniks if you hit them with his fist, but I found at times it can be a little wonky with the hit detection, and sometimes it can harm you. Also, as Sonic, I got crushed in situations where I thought I would not, multiple times. A surprising thing about Knuckles I found is he can charge through breakable walls by just running fast enough. He does not require a spin to break through. Overall, these are the same three classic characters, and they each feel different and great to play in their own rights. The game also has new animations for everyone throughout the cutscenes that go along with the old school graphics that make Sonic Mania feel like a Genesis game on steroids. Graphically, the game looks exactly as it's intended to. A Genesis game brought into today's world. The levels look beautiful in their updated 16-bit graphics, and there are so many things that look like we remember, just updated, that I have to believe they took assets from the older games and brought them directly into Sonic Mania. The backgrounds have so much to them, and the music picked for each act fits in perfectly. The animated sections at the beginning and end of the game are great as well. Sonic Mania takes so much of what was popular and loved about Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, and jams it together and adds changes to make old stages newer and better than ever before. Green Hill Zone starts out exactly as you remember it the first time you played Sonic 1 so many years ago, and the music matches it. At some point, though, it completely changes to a new version of Green Hill Zone, and after you beat the mid-boss of the stage, the music alternates to a more modern version of the song. This is how every zone is handled throughout the game. It starts out recognizable for nostalgia purposes, adds in some new twists, a mid-boss, and then the second act is an expansion on the twist and ends with the final boss for the zone. The developers brought back many assets from the older Sonic games, whether we wanted them or not. In the all-new Mirage Saloon Zone, there are two instances in the first act where you're on top of the tornado in either an auto-scrolling section or a mid-boss fight. This section feels exactly like it did back in Sonic 2 in the Sky Chase Zone. This is the one section of the game where the gameplay feels like you have absolutely no control over your character because of the way you have to move the plane around. The second act of the zone is great and interesting, and even jumping along the train in the first act is a task that I thought could have been played out much more. The other thing brought back that was not really wanted was underwater areas. You know, the parts where Sonic has to move slow and constantly look for air bubbles to survive. Luckily, this is only in two parts of the game. Chemical Plant, where you go under the pink water, and the return of the Hydra City Zone, which I will admit is probably the best underwater Sonic level, but still, underwater levels and Sonic do not mix well. As for the bosses in the game, these were the most thought out and funnest boss battles I have ever had in a Sonic game. Eggman and his hard-boiled heavies are always the final boss in every zone. Each boss fight is completely different from the others. Green Hill Zone you are running away from and jumping back at the Death Egg from Sonic 2, while for the final boss for Chemical Plant, you face Eggman in a game of Puyo Puyo. Even when you are fighting the hard-boiled heavies, you're having a unique experience. All the heavies are very different from each other, and have their own unique quirks about them. In fact, I was hoping to see more of them throughout the zones. Them having more of an impact on the layout of the stage would be an interesting mechanic. The mid-bosses are interesting as well. These are usually the older game fights remixed. For example, in Hydro City Zone, roles are reversed with Sonic sitting in one of Eggman's carriers, dropping bombs and swirling water to bring Eggman up to harm him. It makes the old fights feel new and absolutely nails it, just like the rest of the game. To get the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic Mania, you must find the giant rings in the stages. They teleport you to the old UFO chase sequences from Sonic CD, which I never played. In these stages, you chase a UFO while collecting blue orbs that make you run faster. You also have an ever-depleting amount of rings, and if they hit 0, you fail. This was very uncomfortable for me, and admittedly, I still have not gotten the hang of the controls. Sonic seems to almost drift when you turn, and it throws me off every time. It simply just does not feel good. This was a section of the game that they definitely could have revamped, redone. They didn't need to bring back the old assets for this. Throughout my run, I only collected 4 Chaos Emeralds, and so I'm planning on spending more time exploring for the giant rings on my next go-around. The other special stage is the collecting blue spear stages from Sonic 3. You have to avoid the red orbs and collect every blue orb to collect some kind of token. I have not gathered a ton yet, as I was aiming to get through the game fast, but my guess is the more you get, the more extra content you unlock. The stages themselves start out easy and get progressively harder. Seeing this come back was a nice bit of nostalgia, but personally, I would have loved to see the special stages from Sonic 2 return, where you have to collect rings while running down a path. In conclusion, it took 23 years, but Sonic the Hedgehog finally got a game worthy of being the number 4 entry in the series. I know there was Sonic 4, we don't talk about those games. Sonic Mania is an example of using a proven formula, adding to it, and nailing the end result. By no means is it a perfect game, as there are a few bumps in the road, but it's a simple, fun nostalgia trip that Sonic fans need to try. It is great to see a game where you can tell the developers cared so much and put their all into the creation of it. That's why, for me, Sonic Mania is an 8.3. Hey guys, this is John Hansen for That Video Game Blog. Thanks for checking out my video review of Sonic Mania. Like I said at the beginning, comment below with your thoughts on the game and be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, you can check out our written reviews on our website, which will have a link in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and happy gaming.